Beautiful panel and beautiful people. As I do not believe that the former speaker added much to this debate, I am simply going to give my rebuttal. On the first half of the debate, you spoke about Confucius the man, the legend. On the other part, Monica spoke to you about how it feels to visit Tiananmen Square when you'll see a statue of Confucius. I'm going to talk, as every Westerner likes to do, about what I think China needs. And what China needs right now is unity. Unity in order to go through the different turmoils that it is going, to go through the processes that are difficult and hard, and it needs a government that represents those ideals. We're going to talk about two things today. We're first of all going to talk about what it means when the government makes a choice in that sort of value. This is not yet. This is not a knife or anything that this guy tried to represent. This is a continuing, great extension of what they were saying about how it hurts the person seeing it. We were showing you why the government should not be doing it. Afterwards, we're going to talk specifically about Confucianism, where Confucianism got China in the way that it was. No. Where Confucianism got China in the times when it was dominant, and why we do think Mao Zedong, and yes, despite his problems, does deserve his place in China's history, and does deserve his place in the heart of China, and he should not be forced to share it with Confucius. First of all, no thank you. First of all, why we think that the government should not have a stance on these things. Because we believe that when this government goes into people's values, every time the government has to leave some people outside. They came and say, oh, that's okay, put Aristotle, Plato, and Taoism, and I don't know what else, and Buddhism. I don't think that square is that big, I'll find out in a few days. But I really don't think there is any possibility you could put a statue for everyone, unless it's something that really tries to accomplish, no thank you, everything that China went through. So what we see is that eventually, a government that right now needs to be unifying, needs, no thank you, sit down. No, you and your smile, you're never going to. So what we see is basically that by every choice we make, we are leaving out minorities and people who need to be part of what is making China great. And what is making China great right now is that everybody can play a part. That you can find yourself in a situation, yes, we have the rural problems. Yes, we still have the great, no thank you. We still have great disparity. No thank you. But still, in the very end, we do see a system where more and more people are enjoying prosperity, and I'm not going to even pay attention to any of you. Okay? Now is that if you come and say, listen, we're changing, now we're looking again at specifically Confucius people and not Buddhists. Now we're looking again at specifically sons of Han and not Muslims. You tell them we are no longer the unifying government we want to be. This creates tension. This creates people who don't feel that they belong. This creates a government that is less capable of moving through the different reforms and processes that it is going through. And this is exactly when the time where China is reestablishing itself and redefining what it wants to be. Go.
First of all, it's Confucianism, not Confucianism.
1 point, thank you. 1 point, thank you.
Give me
down.
Please give me
Privilege. Why specifically not this? Okay? They've been brainwashed not by the West, but by feudal thinking. I'm sorry, China. What have we received in the 5,000 years of Confucianism? At times where we got philosophy, yes. We had wonderful things, yes. But the West was controlling the destiny of this great nation. Far less fewer people, far less nice looking, but still coming from far away and leaving situations where we had Manchurians taking over the Ming Dynasty, Hong Kong, the Opium Wars. All these things, situations where China could not take care of its own destiny and decide what it wants, no thank you, and decide where it wants to go, no thank you, you definitely, you're wasting your time. Decides where it wants to go. Now, Mao Zedong in '49 and the Cultural Revolution was a painful process. Many mistakes, I still think the iron sucks. But Mao Zedong was a person who gave China for the first time in centuries that feeling of Chinese can control what they want to be. Yes, the Cultural Revolution was a mistake in many aspects, but the idea of China being able to create an army that can defend itself, and it did defend itself on the Yellow River. The idea of China being able to send satellites to space, to reach a nuclear weapon, to have diplomacy of its own that is not decided in London by a bunch of white people. These are things that came from the hundreds of years without having the dowager Mother Queen, I forgot her name, and things amok. Why was this? Because Confucianism taught us that we need to be feudal, that we need to actually, well, we need to sit in a situation, that we need to be in a situation where we're subordinate, that we can't think for ourselves, that we should not try to think of where this great nation can go, but start thinking about how we can fit within the Manchurian system at the time. We say enough of this. We say Mao Zedong, with all his problems, brought us very far in that. And it was Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution, and later on the changes to that revolution, because there were many mistakes, that brought us to the next step in the 1980s of the two tigers, of the black tiger and the white cat, or I forgot how it works. But the fact is that today, from that initial spark of an idea of do not be feudal, do not take orders, think in a way of what can make this nation great, we've achieved a situation where China is the second largest economy in the world, where China will be the first largest economy in the world, and where for the first time in many, many years, and it's been a long time coming, the Middle Kingdom will have its proper place between earth and sky. Thank you very much.